now tuning with your favorite host. It's Convo with Mr. CINO Show. Bring you the latest on the gossip and more. Creating innovative new opportunity. Reliable source to providing info like a news feed. Interviews up close and personal. With high topics, entertainment and how you want it for more. Creator comes on a whole different note. Motivating, building up our future with hope. Right here on your #1 show. You hear it first, like never before. The conversation inspirational. Convo with CINO. You now tuning with your favorite host. Right here on your #1 show. Convo with CINO. You hear it first, here like never before. The conversation inspirational. Convo with CINO. You now tuning with your favorite host. Right here on your #1 show. Convo with CINO.
Do this. Mic check 1 2 1 2. Welcome to another Wednesday night Convo with CINO Live. It's your man Corey Williams, aka CINO, checking in, man, for another Wednesday, man. Hope y'all feeling good. Hope y'all had a good weekend. And man, before we get started, man, we got a hot show for you tonight. I got a superstar young man coming on, my man DeVaughn Clark. You know, the man must be a viral sensation or something. I posted his Facebook. I posted him on Instagram. It took off, man. So, you know, he must be killing it out there with the young folks. So we got a young superstar on joining us tonight. But before we do that, I need you to like, subscribe, comment, share, tune in, tap in to Convo with CINO Live. And now, let me bring on my lovely co-host. Let's see what she's been up to. Miss Marsha Lyles, what's up? She talked about me. She talked about me with the yeah.
Oh, my bad. I was in the background like I can't hear you.
Yeah. What's that teamwork, baby, teamwork.
Yep, makes the dream work. How you doing, CINO?
I'm blessed. Hold on now. Where you going to a gala or something?
Well, no, you know, pretty hot where I'm at right now, so you know I can't really wear, you know, too much clothing or I might burn up or something.
Okay. So I don't see the whole outfit. I just see the top. Look like it's like a gown, you know.
It's one of those things where you know you can see what's up top, but you just don't know. You can't see at the bottom.
I got you, man. Let me go live on TikTok for all my TikTok people. Man, so how was your happy Memorial Day weekend, and how was all of that?
Man, it was excellent. You know, I had fun last weekend. I was over at the I went to an event for the Gary Historical Cultural Society. They're celebrating 50 years. It was their 50th anniversary, and they did it with a Harlem Renaissance themed event, and so that was really nice. Mm-hmm. And I went to go see.
And where was this at? Where was it at?
Chateau Banquet Hall.
Oh yeah, lovely hall. I know the owner there, Mr. Williams. Is Mr. Williams? Yeah, really.
Sure. I know that. Okay.
Real good guy, but I know the food is excellent. Facilities just top notch, man. So shout out to the Chateau.
Yes, sir. So it was an amazing. So happy anniversary to them again. And I was able to check out Tina Turner Symphony. You know, that's the thing now, the symphonies. And, you know.
I see. We are starting to be enlightened, to be enriched, to be, diving into that, like you said, that Renaissance, that, getting back into the arts and that the whole Renaissance era. So I'm loving it. I'm loving it. People are dressing up, wearing their suit. The men, I'm loving to see the fellas in suits, man. Shout out to the fellas that's putting back on the suits and not sagging.
Looking dapper. That's right. Yeah.
Suits over sagging. That's a new motto. Suits over sagging.
Yeah. So now you're taking the hip hop and the R&B and you're making it more classier. We're leveling up. We're evolving into some new things now, and I'm loving every bit of it.
But honestly, I mean, is it evolution or is it something that's all, but that we're getting back to.
Well, what I mean is that we're taking what was already there, right?
Right.
So a few weeks ago, I mean, even last year, I had the opportunity of seeing Nas with the orchestra, and
Okay.
that was fantastic.
Well, you know what? He's the first one started it to me that I saw. He did it years ago,
Okay.
and he's the first one. He did it off the 20, I think one of the years anniversary of Illmatic. So it was
Okay.
like however old Illmatic is, it was like one of the anniversaries, and he did the whole orchestra on in New York with the Illmatic, singing nothing but the Illmatic album. So he's the
Okay.
first one I seen do that.
Yeah, and then last week or 2
So,
weeks ago, Gucci Mane was in Gary with his show, and I know that's what you're talking
absolutely.
about. Yep. So, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, now the brothers might need to take a few tips from me. You know, I seen them, but good. no, shut up. Some of them suits, you gotta go to the tailor, little fellas, too. You just can't get it straight off the rack. You gotta.
Oh my goodness!
Okay.
Yeah.
Everybody look. Everybody need a little fine tuning. I ain't always been, somebody had to sharpen me up too.
Right. That's right. We're gonna have to give them a full tutorial, but they tried. We're gonna give them A for effort.
Hey, they look good. They look good, man. Matter of fact, hold on. Shout out to all my fellas, man, and the sisters out there, man. The sisters look good. Y'all look great. And I got some news on Gucci Mane too. We're gonna talk about later in the show. Okay. But while we doing that, let me read the disclaimer and we can bring our guest on. And I had a good Memorial Day weekend. I just spent it with my daughter. I had me and my poopadoo. We just, I'm just a daddy.
You know what?
I'm just a daddy.
The best thing ever. I saw your post and someone asked you what you were doing and you were sitting there looking at the little lake. Nothing. I love it. That's where you should be at. Am I cutting out? Is that my Wi-Fi or is that your Wi-Fi? Yeah. I'm still here. Can you?
It might be yours. I hear you though. I mean, I see you. It was a little blurry.
Little blurry. Okay.
Yeah. You're a new territory.
Good. Yep.
No. I see you good. Just the words were a little off, but I get the point. I know where you're going. Thank you. Yeah. And and this young man. He's a young father, man. So I'm looking forward to hearing from him. Yeah. So check this out, y'all. Here we go. The views and opinions expressed during Convo with CINO Live are those of host, guests, and contributors, and do not necessarily reflect the official policy or opinion position of Convo with CINO, its affiliates, program enhanced coordinator 22, Marsha, Lyles. Viewer discretion is advised. This show is intended for informational and conversational purposes only. So, Marsha, go ahead and do the honors.
Absolutely. And as you said, this young man went from becoming a father at 19, just 19 years old, to earning his real estate license in the same season of life. Today's guest is proof that purpose doesn't wait for perfect timing. DeVaughn Clark turned adversity into ambition after making the difficult decision to leave college, choosing instead to step fully into responsibility, faith, and entrepreneurship. Guided by his relationship with God and driven by a desire to inspire others, he built a name for himself in both real estate and transportation, even earning Rookie of the Year honors at TQL along the way. Now, DeVaughn is stepping deeper into inspirational speaking, mentorship, and helping others navigate life, business, and faith with authenticity. Today, we're talking about growth, fatherhood, betting on yourself, overcoming setbacks, and what it really means to walk by faith while building your future. Everyone, please help us welcome DeVaughn Clark. Am I lagging?
My greatest accomplishment was becoming a father. All right.
No.
Okay.
My greatest accomplishment was becoming a father. All right. Becoming a father helped me get closer to God. When before I became a father, I became a dad when I was 19. I'm 25 next month. So before I became a father, I was okay with just living how I was living. You know what I mean? Kind of living day to day. But when I became a father, it kind of let me know that it's okay to live, right? Because now I have something to live for, right? So my greatest accomplishment was becoming a dad.
Hey.
There he is. What's up, my brother?
Good afternoon. Look, I'm like, let me make sure I'm not.
Man, welcome to the show.
Look, I seen both of y'all on mute. I'm like, let me make sure I'm not on mute when I talk. Thank you all so much.
Man, thank you for joining us, my brother. It's been a long time coming, man.
Man, about like we just said, about 2
Can you
years.
hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you, brother. Absolutely.
You know what? Yeah, that might be his end.
Yeah, man. Investment. So
yeah. Well, you know what, DeVaughn?
that's me. Hold on. I don't know. I got my hold on.
It's about to be a hot podcast episode. That's why that's the enemy trying to stop all this knowledge right now.
You.
Man. Let me see.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, DeVaughn, you know, social media went a bit crazy when we posted you on there.
Okay.
And I mean, hey, you know what? We're all looking forward to hearing what you have to say, learning more about you. And this is definitely going to be a hot episode.
Well, I appreciate you all, Marsha and CINO as well, too, for having me. Thank you all so much. I'm honestly honored and blessed to be here. CINO, I've been seeing you do your thing for a while now, brother. I've been, impressed by your podcast on social media, on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok when I see it as well, too. So I'm excited to be here, right? I'm really excited to be here. So thank you all.
Okay. Well, you know what? Let's get started then.
Man.
You ready, CINO? I'm ready.
So yeah, let's go, man. So Marsha, so a little backstory. I met DeVaughn. I was ear hustling. We were coming from InvestFest, and I was coming from this.
Yeah, you're going in and out.
I don't know, my stuff lagging.
Maybe I know sometimes disconnecting the Wi-Fi and reconnecting sometimes can help. If you want like a computer or a PC.
I'm not even on Wi-Fi.
Oh, okay.
I'm not even on my Wi-Fi. I'm actually plugged in hard.
Okay.
Oh,
I
yeah.
tried to get that. Are we good? No.
Mm-mm.
It's a little
no.
copy. Yeah, it's a
Marsha, take over. Take over for a minute.
Okay.
Take over, Marsha, real quick.
All right. You know what?
All right.
Tell me the backstory, DeVaughn. How did you guys meet? How did you connect?
No, that's a really great question. So, like CINO just said, we were both actually coming from InvestFest in 2024. I'm not too sure if you guys are familiar with InvestFest out there who's watching live. Or not.
Yes.
My first time. Yeah, 100%. My first time ever, actually my first and my only time so far ever being at InvestFest. It really inspired me. And my cousin and I, we were actually on the way back from Atlanta to Chicago. And, me and my cousin we was just pumped. Like, man, like, did you hear about this financial hack and, credit this and, trucking and this guy. And CINO actually came up. Like he said, he was ear hustling. You know what I mean? And kind of came in and, introduced himself. And I'm like, man, it was dope. We was down there for 3 days and, this, that, and the third. And ever since then, 2024, CINO and I both been kind of supporting each other on social media. I think CINO and I, spent a few conversations on the phone and got, talking about fatherhood, talking about, employment and entrepreneurship and all that fun stuff here in Chicago. So it's been a really, 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 really great relationship I've been able to have. And I'm blessed to be here. So that's how CINO and I, officially met each other.
So we finally get you on the show now.
Yeah,
Finally, and that was 2 years ago, right? When you met.
Yeah.
That was the first time you went CINO. Okay. Well, you know what? That was really
Yeah. And
that
so just to let you know, hey DeVaughn, just to let you know, Marsha is a superstar.
okay.
All right.
Okay.
Can y'all hear me?
Yeah, we can
Marsha's a superstar. I got matter of fact, hold on. Because since we talking about Invest Fest, I gotta go in the archives, for Marsha. Hold on. Now check this out.
Chicago morning takeover.
I get money, I'm a star. I get money, I'm a star. お金稼ぐ俺らはスターお金稼ぐ私はスター
Okay.
I like mingle.
That's just a little something.
Yeah.
That's just a little something.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, Marsha, you getting it in.
That was the year. That was the same year we met. DeVaughn.
Okay.
So so
Chicago was in the building.
just to let you know who we got on the line with us tonight,
Well, really, I'm in Arizona right now, okay? And I made sure that I was here on time. Because I'm like, thank you, Tanisha. I'm like, this man is a superstar. So I was looking forward to it. So, man, enough about me, CINO. Okay. So, DeVaughn, you know what? Take us back to 19 years old. What was going through your mind at that point when you became a father and decided to leave college? Almost like your Kanye West.
Man, that again, Marsha, that was a time where, man, I mean, you all remember being 19, right? Trying to figure things out. I think every 19-year-old have that moment in their life where they try to figure things out. I was 19. I was in college, right? I went to college at DuPage, right here in Glen Ellen. And matter of fact, let's go before college, right? So I graduated high school with a 2.1 GPA, right? Not because I was this busybody kid who couldn't sit down, never got suspended in high school, by the grace of God, never, got arrested in high school or anything after. I was a guy who just, you get some kids, some teenagers, some high schoolers who just become a part of the number. You know what I mean? Maybe not the greatest guidance, maybe not the right, folks, as far as influence and inspiration in their life. And I was one of those guys. I wasn't a bad kid. So I graduated high school with a 2.1 GPA and I got accepted to no colleges. I applied to a lot of colleges, NIU, Purdue. At that point, I just was pulling up from the three, like, let me see who'll give me a chance, and no college acceptance letters, none whatsoever. And the next step was like, cool, let's go to college, right? Let's go to community college. I'm sorry. And I, enrolled in 2019. Now, everybody who remember 2019 was that COVID, like the beginning of that COVID year, right? Yeah. So COVID came in 2020. I remember March in 2020 and everybody had to do like the online schooling. So I'm like, okay, cool. I'm doing the online schooling. And the following year in like March, I find out that I'm about to be a father. And I think everything just kind of changed for me. At that moment, I was, again, I was a kid, a guy that was just in the fluff, shooting dice. Again, not a bad guy, just trying to figure out my way, like what could work for me. And I tried every avenue and every route that you could pretty much think of. And, again, before that, when I was in college, before I dropped out, I took a real estate course. So for all you young ladies and young men, or even, no matter how old you are, if you are looking to get into real estate, you know what I mean? And a lot of people ask me, hey, where should I take my course? And where did you go to school? You can take a course at a community college if they offer that course. And the course was like $500. And I believe I again, not listening to my mother at the time, she was telling me, hey, you apply for scholarships and this, that, and the third. And I didn't listen to her. And I did it the next semester for the following semester. And they gave me like $2,500. So it was basically free. You know what I mean? It was basically free with my scholarships that, you know, they gave me. And I took that real estate course, and, you know, in the state of Illinois, they give you 4 chances to pass that real estate exam, right? 4 chances. And I was still 19 at this time. I failed it 3 times. So when I
Don't say
failed
you
it,
took all 4.
it took me 4 chances to pass that exam. You know, the first 3 times, I don't know if I had the belief in me. I don't know what, you know, I was taking the exam, failing. You know, they got a national and a state portion, failing. And I took a pause. This is before I found out I was becoming a dad. This is 2020. I'm like, all right, cool. I'm gonna just take a step back. You know, still didn't have a job at this time because I was living with my parents. I had a 2005. What did I have? Not even a Hyundai. It was I'm sorry. The first car I had was an 05 Chrysler Sebring. I had a 2000. At this time, I had a 2011 Chevy Impala where the heat only worked on the driver's side, right? And the actuators used to go off when you first get in the car. So at that time, any you know lady that I had in the car, it would just be the actuators would tick like this before I even turned on the car. So I used to turn on the car and turn the music up, you know, and the heat didn't work on the right side in Chicago. So I'm like, just put your hands under
it's okay, baby. I keep you warm.
Yeah, put your hands under your legs for the seat warmer. And that was a time that really shaped me. You know, that was a time that really shaped me.
And what is an accolator though? Come on, you gotta tip what's an accolator.
The actuator.
What's the accolator? What is that?
The actuators, that's something that's in Chevys. If you had an old Chevy, you know, I can't even tell you what it is. I know my great-grandfather, he got in, he said, man, that's the actuators right there. I'm like, and I looked it up, and then I seen it on TikTok. You know, I'm like, Chevy Impala's actuators ticking. And it was, sure enough, everybody on there was like, they car was just like ticking and all that. So, you know, that's what it is. But, yeah, you know, it was just a time. No, go ahead, CINO.
No, go ahead.
Now, like I was saying, it was just a time where I was definitely uncomfortable. Definitely, again, like no job at the time. 2011, you know, Chevy Impala, you know, not the greatest car. Failed the real estate exam 3 times. 2021 roll around. I'm in school, but I'm not really feeling it, you know. And then in March of 2021, I found out I was about to become a father, and that was just like, wow. And I'm like, okay, so the day that I found out I was about to become a dad, maybe 2 weeks later, I reached out to my mother's friend who was already in real estate. And I actually told my mother's friend first that I was about to become a dad before I even told my people. You know, and it's my mentor to this day, Shanice. I said, Shanice, look, I'm about to have a baby. I failed this exam 3 times. If I fail it this 4th time, I know I got to take the course over. You know, I was just panicking, y'all, you know. And usually before I take these exams, right, I usually wake up and I ask God for so much. God, can you give me strength? And can you give me guidance? And can you give me the questions? This day, on the day, because you find out if you failed or if you passed the same day you take the test. So this day, I didn't ask God for nothing. Instead of asking God for anything, I woke up at 19 and I said, thank you. I said, thank you. Thank you for allowing me to have this opportunity. And that moment let me know right then and there, sometimes it's not necessarily what you're doing, but it might be what you're asking for. So you might think that like, oh, God trying to punish me or this, then, the third. But for me, in my situation, I realized that maybe you have to realize that you are already blessed. You know, you one of his children's already, right? But he's trying to let you know that like, it's not why you don't have to continue to ask for something that's already yours. If somebody hands you your phone, you know, you're going to tell them, you know, thank you. You know what I mean? Thank you. And that's the way that I looked at it. And I took that exam, still nervous. I was still nervous. But I think God seen that my language, my verbiage changed from please, from worry to this, to just, I woke up in my mother's basement and said, thank you. Right? Went downtown Chicago, took that exam. And, you know, they give you your results right then and there. And I was nervous because the lady took like 20 minutes to print out. I'm over exaggerating, but she took a long time to print out my results. So I'm like grabbing my pocket. I'm like, man, I'm in my hand. I'm like, man, what's taking so long to print out these results? And I told myself that I can't bear to see fail. So I told myself before, like, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna just fold up the results and I'm gonna read it in the car because I can't cry right here in front of them. I can't cry right here in front of them. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm gonna be devastated, and not cry for real, but I can't be sad face in front of them. And before I can even get the results, the lady said, "Congratulations." I said, "What? Who?" She said, "Congratulations." I looked at them and it said pass, and that day changed my life forever.
Wow.
Wow.
So, oh my God. Okay, I have a few things. If you don't mind. Excuse me.
Well, let me say this, because I don't know if I'm gonna be in and out or not. But DeVaughn, so because I have my real estate license, so I know how you feel. Like, I know the process, you know, but you still got to work. I mean, so even getting that done, real estate ain't no lottery ticket. You know what I'm saying? Even to get into that. So so even getting that going, what was your vision for being a realtor, you know, or getting this license?
That's a good question, CINO. You and to add to your point, you said, what was your vision? You have to have a vision. At the time when I first started, I didn't have a vision. I just wanted to become a realtor. You know, I didn't know what that looked like. You know, once I had a mentor, which is my big sister Shanice, when I passed that exam, I'm like, how can I thank you? She like, you don't need to pay me nothing. Just whatever I gave you, give to the next person. Whatever I gave you, whatever. She just got on the phone with me before I passed that exam, and she just poured life into me. So she was really a part of like my vision, because she helped me see that vision. And my first deal, I was 20 at this time. I think it was like 340,000, and my first commission check was like $7,000. You know, that was my first like what I would call big boy check. I'm like, man, 7 G's. Like, I'm 20. Like, this gonna go well. You know what I mean? And you know, that's where the vision started to come at. You know what I mean? And I was able to do over $1 million in gross sales and real estate, and helped a football player who used to play for the Chicago Bears. He played for the New York Giants now. Helped him get his place in northern suburbs of Chicago, and just speaking that affirmation over my life, you know, and over my journey in real estate. But that was the vision part of it, you know, and to get that vision, you got to really speak it. You know, whatever your wildest dreams are, man, you have to really start to put those things in life. Just decree and declare. You know what I mean? No matter how it looked, no matter if you failed 3 times and you only got one more chance left, no matter if you graduated with a 2.1 GPA, no matter if you became a father at 19, decree and declare, right? Trust in the Lord with all your heart and lean not on your own understanding. You know, and it's frustrating. Don't get me wrong, it's definitely frustrating, you know, but it's like a puzzle. You know what I mean? My life, and the way I look at it is like, okay, just because you 90% done with the puzzle, right? The vision. You asked me about vision, so you're 90% done with the puzzle, and you got 5 pieces left. Well, just because that piece doesn't fit doesn't mean you scrap the whole thing. You know what I mean? It's just, maybe ask somebody, and I had to, but for my vision, man, I had to really lean on my community. I had to really lean on other people. I had to reach out to people. I had to ask questions. How do you complete this contract? I couldn't, I'm not here today on my own without the help of my mentors, without God and my family, because they really poured a lot into me. So I'm forever grateful for that, man. And that was a part of my vision. And once I passed that exam, I'm like, man, anything is possible.
Yeah. Yeah. What I took from that also, man, amazing story. And it's 2 ways of looking at it. What's for you is for you. It's already written. God knows what's best for you, right? And so the thing is that even if it didn't work out and you said thank you anyways, then it wasn't meant for you to have it, right? Yeah. But it was meant for you to have. So that's the blessing. But what I want to talk about also is that, oftentimes when someone mentions, oh my gosh, I'm expecting a child, it's normally a woman that's saying that. Nothing's new under the sun. Oftentimes, if a man hear this at 19, sometimes, of course, they're not mature enough to think, oh, I have a responsibility to take care of now. Yeah. They're thinking about themselves still, because like you said, you're still trying to figure it out for yourself. So I commend you for doing the right thing. Obviously, you are, faith is embedded in you and in your relationship with God. How was that for you at that point? I mean, I'm just shocked. Being a woman, usually we bear the weight.
Yeah.
And you two, and I'll say Corey and DeVaughn, you're a rare case. So what would be your advice to other guys, 19, 18, 17, 16 years old, having a child? What do you have to say to those people?
That's a good question. You know, I definitely would say, first of all, you know, again, for me, I'm in my Bible heavy, you know, and in the Bible, it talks a lot about how children are blessings from God.
Yeah.
So
right.
I failed that exam 3 times. I became a father. The next time I take the exam, I pass it. So it's like,
oh man, hold on, man. I gotta drop the bomb for that one, man. Hold on. I gotta get my bombs ready.
Yeah, that you know, that really changed it for me. You know what I mean? That really helped me understand that. There you go.
Yeah, man. I gotta get the bombs. I gotta get the bombs out for you, man.
Yeah, that was what it was for me. You know, once I started to get in the Bible more, I'm like, man, they said they're a blessing from God. I'm like, this is your blessing. And you know, fatherhood, just like anything else in life, can have its challenges. But with the right mentorship, with the right leadership, you know, anything is able to overcome. And coming from where we come in Chicago, right? I born and raised south side of Chicago and then moved to the south suburbs. The south suburbs is kind of very similar to Chicago because you get a lot of people who from Chicago to move to the south suburbs. So, you know, coming from where we come, you know, the things that we grew up around, I wanted something different. You know what I mean? I wanted something different for my legacy, and I'm still figuring those things out today, regardless of how much information that I get and how many things I think I'm right about fatherhood. I'm always looking to learn and grow. I'm 25. I would ask somebody who's 20, what do they think about fatherhood? Because I love perspective. Because I love seeing like, oh, well, this is what fatherhood meant to him. And DeVaughn, remember when you went through that obstacle when you was 23 and you never got that answer? Well, this 20-year-old just answered it for you at 25. So you got to stay optimistic. You know what I mean? And it really takes a village. You know, my parents and, you know, different things like that to help me, you know, raising, you know, my daughter. You know what I mean? So it take a village, you know. So all those young guys out there, again, whether you're young or you're old, you know, doesn't matter if your child is 2 years old or 20. You know, if you want that relationship with your child, it takes a village. You know, lean on people, ask questions. You know what I mean? Because you're going to have some challenges, right? You're going to have some challenges that arise, especially me being a girl dad. Like, it's some things that we just not going to be able to relate on. You know what I mean? And I'm going to need to ask the next person, like, what do you think about this? You know what I mean? So, yeah, that's what I would say to fatherhood in general.
And I would say this, you know, even coming from myself, you know, us being both, you know, fathers to girls, of course, the age difference. I'm 50. How old are you now? You was 19.
I'm half of you, bro. I'm 25.
Okay, good. So I would contribute that. I mean, I don't know your family history, but you just kind of alluded to that. But that village, that support system, no matter how bad you did in school or you still had those morals is what really kick in as a human. You know, I think men or women, I think morals are what make a person. When they hear, you can hear something, because one person could hear something bad. A person can hear the same thing, and one person can see opportunity. One person can see lack or something bad out of that situation, right? And so that's where your morals come from, and that's where that belief in God and your spiritual walk, because again, as the Bible says, you know, all things work together for the good. Amen. So that means nothing bad happens. You know what I'm saying? But that's how I think. Yep. Nothing bad happens to me. If all things work together for the good, if I stump my toe, it must have been good. Must have been meant for me to sit down and chill. Yeah. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But some people look at that. I mean, I'm just using that as an example, but I really live by that rule, if that makes sense. You know. So what makes you want to give back to be an inspirational? Because and I like that you said inspirational versus motivational, because I've been really tapped into a lot of motivation, like a lot of books lately. And motivation leaves, but inspiration is something that kind of gets into you. So I'm glad that you say that you're an inspirational speaker versus motivational. So what makes you want to do that and give back?
That good question, CINO. And I want to talk, before we even dive in deeper on that, I want to talk about how you just differentiated the two between a motivational speaker versus an inspirational speaker. And I've been very, intentional on making sure I differentiate the two. You know what I mean? And I stayed away from motivational speaker because I look at motivation like coffee. You know what I mean? Like you drink your coffee, you get your energy by 4 p.m. You crash, then you need another coffee. You know what I mean? Versus like inspiration is like that. You know what I mean? that inspiration, man, but inspiration is like when you first seen Michael Jordan. I wasn't around for Jordan, but I'm assuming how some people seen Jordan and they was like, wow, I want to be like that. You know what I mean? Like really giving somebody the fundamental tools that they would need to grow their life. So, that is why I consider myself an inspirational speaker, and where it came from, man. Growing up, man, I was a busybody kid, like young. My family tell me all the time, man, you was bad as a kid, man. You know what I mean? That was me, just always getting into stuff. And I would call myself optimistic, when I was younger, that age. And, my nickname Bebe, so everybody used to, man, bad little Bebe. And I'm like, nah, man, that ain't why they call me Bebe. My cousin, he never knew how to say baby. So, he used to always say, Grandma, look at that Bebe. You know what I mean? And my grandma was like, we're going to name him Bebe. And, growing up, I'm like, man, I'm not a bad kid. I just think I needed some guidance, and I think everybody need a different kind of, a different kind of, some kids need a different kind of teaching or a different kind of delivery. You know what I mean? Like, and for me, I think it was the delivery. So I'm like, man, where would I have been? I thank God, again, like you say, all things work for the good, but also, what other good things could I have gotten if I had a certain type of leadership in my life, whether if it was in the house or whether if it was at school, or whether if it was from a coach. So I'm really, really, really intentional on giving back, because you just don't know, and you're not going to, my belief is I'm not going to save everybody, but all it takes is for me to speak, one time, like I did earlier this year at a Leo High School, the all boys school. And, after I spoke at Leo, the young guy said, it brought me to tears, man. The young guy said, man, I see my future through you. I'm like, man, you see your future in my head. I'm like, man, you see your future through the 2.1 GPA, the guy who dropped out at 19, who don't have a degree, like who became a realtor at 19, like you see your future through me. So it's my fiduciary duty to give back. It's a duty of mine to make sure that I'm doing that any way that I can, whether if it's, doing what I can do now, and which is speaking, and then what I'll be able to do in the future, which is, having back to school drives and, Thanksgiving and Christmas turkey drive and stuff like that. So, that's the game plan. And that's why, I really are intentional about giving back,
Yeah, that's a blessing. There's a lot of young boys, 19 years old, that did the same thing. And honestly, your story is very inspirational. But a lot of guys didn't have that same outcome. But you was able to live through all of that, to learn, to live through it and learn, so that you can share your story with someone else so that they can get it. Because I think a lot of us, I think we all can agree that there was something that we were lacking as far as being taught. We're not all bad people. It's just about, oftentimes it's the upbringing or with the access to the things that we have. So it was a blessing for you, though. Man, so powerful.
I appreciate that. And I would like to add too, Marsha, it wasn't just me who got me here. My great grandparents are still living, and I come from, my great grandparents were married for this year. They'll be married for 67 years. They
had their first kid too.
They got married in 1959. They from Charleston, Missouri, and they had 7 children. I'm sorry, and they moved to Chicago. My grandmother, which is the only one of the siblings who passed, she passed in 2008. I come from a praying family.
Yeah.
So these blessings that I'm able to live in, those might be from, and I've also met my great grandparents. You know, my great grandparents died when I was 2, and then my great grandfather died when I was 7. So we got a long lineage, like, of coming from the South. You know, Cairo, they call it Cairo, but Cairo, Illinois, and Charleston, Missouri. You know, we just got a praying family. You know, my grandmother Lavisha, a praying grandmother, and my great grandmother, my great grandfather. I call my great grandfather right now. He's 87, and still drive, and still, you know, sharpen the mind and stuff like that. You know, and have conversations with him. So I'm eager to get that message from him, and you know, so it's this man that you're seeing today. This is not just, you know, me. Oh, you know, I did all this great thing. You know, everybody like to talk about the great things that they did, but man, it's the family. You know, and any mothers out there or any fathers out there that might be, you know, you're trying to get through to your nephew, your brother, your cousin, pray on it. Keep praying, because I'm telling you, one day somebody gonna pick it up, and if it's not them that's gonna pick it up, it's gonna be their children that do. You know what I mean? So yeah.
Wow. DeVaughn, man, you got a bright future, man, and you do some now, because when I met you, you were doing some other stuff in logistics and things like that. You're successful, so you pretty much, man, it's like everything you touch, man, turns to gold, man. So tell us about kind of some of the other ventures that you into, some new opportunities that you see as a young person that, you know, maybe like somebody like myself, you know, because we can kind of get stubborn as you get older. So what's kind of the latest thing that's popping right now? You know, what's popping?
Definitely the AI space, man. You know, definitely the AI. I don't know too much about, you know, as far as like, you know, how to start an AI company and this, that, and the third. But I mean, like all of us know, you definitely want to have, if you're not in the AI space, you definitely want to start having conversations, right? And proximity could be success. So you want to be in proximity of people who know about how to get from point A to point B, right? So I went to this coffee shop on the south side of Chicago, South Shore neighborhood, called The Brew. Don't know if you guys ever heard of The Brew. It's a few locations, like 2, if I'm not mistaken. But I went to a podcast hosting, which is actually my cousin. He owns.
Is it a black guy that owns a black guy? Mm-hmm. I see. That place is nice, man. Yeah. Because he kind of walked through the whole journey of him putting it together. Yeah, cool guy. I seen. I want to connect with him too.
Yeah, 100%, man. I went to a podcast, hosting a live podcast show he had there, and it was the comptroller of Illinois was actually there. And I don't know if any of you guys know what the comptroller is. That's the person who actually decides where the money goes. You know what I mean? How much money you're going to put into, and please correct me if I'm wrong, but that's what a comptroller is. If the budget is $300 million, they decide, okay, this organization is going to get this much, and that organization is going to get this much, and you want to get funded for your business, or you want to get this, that, and the third. So I had the luxury of, you know, rubbing elbows with that particular person, and then, you know, connecting me with what's called a VC. If you guys know what a VC is, that's a venture capitalist. Right. And I was able to have a conversation with him. And, you know, so again, proximity. So if you guys don't know about AI, get into those spaces. You know, if you guys see stuff where it's like, hey, we having a meetup for AI, you know, and if it looks credible, you know, do your research on it, of course, and go. You know, that's how I met one of my real estate clients. You know, I went to a real estate event back in 2023 in like April. And later that year, you know, I met a guy at that event later that year, that same guy who I exchanged numbers with. He said, man, hey, do you help out with, you know, these type of properties? I'm like, absolutely. He said, okay, cool. I got a friend who he just got, you know, traded from the Indianapolis Colts to the Chicago Bears, and he need a place. 8 days later, we closed the deal. Right. So proximity, you got to get in those rooms. You know, you got to get in those rooms and have those conversations. Even if you don't know what it is, ask questions. So definitely AI space. You know, of course, real estate. My background is in, you know, inspirational speaking, real estate. And then I would say that the number one most success I've had in all my in those 3 ventures would be transportation, you know, particularly freight brokerage, you know, customer facing, lead generation, account management, you know, closing Fortune 500 companies, closing Fortune 100 companies. Blue Trident Brands was a company I closed. Save a Lot Grocery Store was another one of my clients that I had. Scott's Miracle-Gro, the mulch in the dirt that you'll see at like Home Depot, Lowe's, you know, reaching out to those different shippers. and getting those loads and then brokering those loads out to truck drivers. You know, it's a lot of money in that space as well too. It's a very rigorous space. It's a very, you can even call it tough space as well too. But I mean, I've you know, shook hands with brokers who've made, you know, 900,000, who've made 500K, you know, per year. You know what I mean? So yeah, those are some really great, you know, things that you guys can definitely get into. Content creation as well too is really great. You know what I mean? Start posting, because you never know where your videos will go. You never know who will see your videos. On TikTok, I was posting. I had maybe like 700 followers or something like that last year in like April. And I was posting. I'm like, man, ain't nobody really watching. And so a good friend of mine got on the phone. A good friend of mine, her mom, she said, I see your videos you posting on social media. I said, they looking? They watching? What? I ain't know nobody was paying attention. Literally, I started posting more. And I mean, I'm telling you, it shot up, man. It shot up like 50,000 likes and 125,000 likes and different, you know, different actors. I seen like who was retweeting it. I'm like, man, this girl played him on Blackish. I'm like, man, this girl played on, you know, this girl played on Disney. They reposted my stuff. So, and they see. So keep posting. So content creation is another one, guys. So I hope that helped out, you know, AI.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah.
So my question is, how is it being a man of faith and being in the business world?
Man, faith, I'm rooted in faith. So everything that I do has to be centered around my faith. And a lot of the things that I read, right? I was just reading, you know, a book in the Bible called Ecclesiastes, where I believe this is Solomon, where he's talking about you should invest in many things because you do not know which one will work, right? So faith is very, very important for me, you know, and you definitely, you know, never want to jeopardize your character, right? Or your name, right? For a quick dollar. I've been around a lot of different business owners. I've been around a lot of different folks in the industry that, you know, you can definitely, you know, look side-eye. You know what I mean? I've been around a lot of business that's just not done, you know, not too well, especially in the trucking industry. You know what I mean? Where I was faced with like, okay, I had to just turn down a $100,000 opportunity a month ago because it just was not right. You know what I mean? I wanted to really accept it. I'm like, man, this would be a great portfolio for me. You know,
you don't want to get it and repent. You don't want to get it and repent.
Right? I could have.
Lord, forgive me. Forgive me. They know not what they do by giving me this money.
Right? It felt really good. I'm like, oh man, he said, okay, cool. This opportunity was 6 figures. You know, there's some other incentives in there as well too, but it was a really great portfolio a really great, you know, book of business to add to my portfolio. And it just didn't feel right. You know what I mean? And I talked it over with my partner, my girlfriend, who also is a woman of God. And, you know, again, two is when they say two, it's good when two or more come together and rejoice. Mm-hmm. So just speaking to her about those things as well, too, my business ventures, it really helped me make that right decision because it just wasn't the right thing to do. You know what I mean? And 9 times out of 10, you know when something is not right. You know, and I knew at that case, I wanted to, like I say, CINO, I wanted to accept it, bro. I wanted to say, come on, bring that honey bun, you know? I couldn't, y'all. Like, I couldn't because I spent a lot of time making a lot of other companies rich, you know, building KPIs, building SOPs, implementing prospecting strategies. And I'm like, man, I'm not really.
For those who don't know, you know, what KPIs and SOPs is, break that down for us.
So KPIs is what's called key performance indicators, right? So when you know, working at a corporate job, right? And they might even have them at like, you know, Burger King, and, you know, they got KPIs are a part of all entrepreneurial facets, right? If you are looking to grow your company, a KPI would let a company know that, hey, this guy or this gal is performing really well. Right. So if you're not hitting your KPIs, then you performing under. So, for example, let's say if you work at a sales job, real estate. Let's use real estate. Really, 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 really simple. You know, for the first 2 years that brokerage open, that brokerage is going to be tracking a lot of data. Right. A lot of data that's going to say, hey, You know, during the months of March, April, May, June, July, we do a lot of volume. So during those months, you know, let's say on average that, you know, 6 properties are sold per broker, per agent. That agent is now they know a system for their company now. That whoever owns that brokerage, they know a system now because they see it year after year after year. So now to get people to perform well, they're gonna have these KPIs. When they bring new agents on, they're gonna say, hey, listen, for these months, you should be hitting this. For example, when I worked at the company Total Quality, you know, they had a KPI, a performance indicator of $4,000 a week, you know, and that was the goal that you would want to hit in gross profit, right? So that's what KPI is. And SOPs will be your instructions. You know what I mean? So when you're building a company, right? When you're building a company and you're like, okay, cool, I'm making $100,000 in gross revenue a month. You know, net wise, we doing about $7K a month in net after all expenses and what. I'm just making up numbers, right? Now it's time to grow and expand, right? And you know, you need to let the next person know, you know, how to run this particular division. You know what I mean? So what should I be doing from start to finish? If you told me how to make a peanut butter and jelly sandwich, you say first grab the bread, right? Then grab the jelly, then grab the peanut butter, then grab the knife. On the left bread, spread the peanut butter. On the right bread, spread the jelly. Then you close, right? And it's gonna be SOP. So when that person comes, they can read it and they can say, okay, first do this, then do that, then do this, then do that, and that's how companies run. SOPs are very, very important, right? You need to create a SOP for whatever it is that I learned this, and this is nothing against. I've just learned this from being around a lot of entrepreneurs, right? And a lot of people, I've learned this. A lot of people actually want to be, this is just my opinion, they want to be led. I don't want to say they want to be told what to do, but as a business owner, if you're struggling with growing, right, you need to have some KPIs and some SOPs to tell this person, hey, this is what you should be doing. So if your business is not growing, first look at your SOPs. And if you have SOPs in them, maybe you need to bring in some type of consulting company who can help you strategize and structure, right? I got my own, you know, transportation consulting company where we take people through a crawl, walk, run method. You know, you never want to run unless you got the bankroll to do so, you know. But if you like a startup company, you want to have KPIs, you want to have SOPs, that's going to help you become successful. Guaranteed.
Yep.
Man, break out the horn, man. Dropping knowledge on y'all, man. Got my man dropping knowledge. I love it.
Oh yeah.
Man.
Woo!
Absolutely.
Man, we can go all night. Man, it's been an hour, man. Bro, you easy to interview, man. You make our job easy. Wasn't it easy, Marsha?
I mean, you know, it was wonderful. It was very educational. So we didn't want to interrupt anything that you had to say.
No, y'all good. Y'all good.
Don't make it seem like you did all the work.
I know.
But you're the superstar.
We all are.
Good.
We all
hey, I know how to pick them.
Yes, you do.
Hey, DeVaughn, you going to Invest Fest this year?
I'm not too sure, man. I'm not too sure. You know, I've been focused more so on being focused. You know what I mean? Being like, you know, you wondering why, okay, you get to the cliff, you climb and you holding off. And sometimes you can have a lot of distractions going on.
Yeah.
I've noticed that real estate exam, when I got focused is when I finally passed it. So this year has been a big year for me of just being focused. Mm-hmm. Sacrifice the summer. You know, I know you want to go pop the bottles and I dare you. I tell myself all the time, I dare you, DeVaughn, to just sacrifice this season. I dare you to go shake that CEO hand. I dare you to, instead of going left, go right. I know it'd be great to create opportunities, but, you know, going to Invest Fest that first year was really great for making connections. But, you know, next time I want to go, I want to be able to bring value as well, too. You know what I mean? Yeah. You want people needing you, not necessarily the other way around. You know what I mean? So you got to bring value.
Yeah. Well, here's a clip. For those who ask, a lot of people don't know. A lot of people still don't know what Invest Fest is. So we talk about it here a lot on this show. We're all products of Invest Fest. So I got a little clip. Check this out.
What did I miss?
What do black people need? Access.
How many stocks do I really have in stock? Like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5,
don't even have to pay me when I come back next time. You don't even have to pay me. I'm coming back. This moment right here at InvestFest is very, very powerful.
2025, I'll be on InvestFest stage. Look at me now.
I wonder what the numbers are going to look like for InvestFest this year.
A lot.
Let's go.
Having a good InvestFest 2025.
I know what I bring to the table and I know what my expertise is.
If I made you money, can I get a hell yeah? God has placed two vessels in your life, two kings. It hasn't been about them. It's been about you.
Your US dollar gets less and less valuable. You can't do that with Bitcoin.
Anything I build, if it only benefits me, is not big enough.
How are we gonna have generational wealth if we don't raise a generation?
In my heritage, I'm inheriting money and power to make America.
What you're doing here
They not like us. They not like us. They not like us.
is the future of the biggest economy on the planet. I can't wait to see what happens to this in 3 years.
That's
not going to miss InvestFest.
Hey, because they be answering it, they be in the comments. What's investment? What is that? What is that? So this is what this show is about, man. We want to, create and innovative new opportunities, man. We want to enlighten people's mind, man, and put them in the rooms, like you say. You remember when that guy said, I want to be on stage. That reminded me of what you just said.
Hey, look, I'll be there soon. I'll be on stage soon. And I felt
absolutely.
Anybody who hasn't been to InvestFest, it definitely can be transformational to your life if you allow it. Just the amount of people that you come in contact with that's in credit space, trucking space, inspirational speaking, motivational speaking, just healthcare, just clothing brands, a bunch of different, and also guys as well too. I got a clothing brand as well. My cousins and I, my brother, it's called Meal Ticket Fashion. I just putting that out there. Man, I forgot to even, yeah. Yeah, we got to.
And you say you in Glen Ellen. You say you in Glen Ellen, so you ain't too far from me either. I'm in Lyles.
Oh, yeah.
Man, run me my shirt, man. Run me my shirt, man.
I got you. Nah,
it's Marsha, what size you wear? I'll grab Marsha's too.
I go with a medium.
We got you. And listen.
Get Marsha's medium.
A medium is crazy. Look, Meal Ticket Fashion is an inspirational brand. Meal Ticket stands for making everyday achievements last. Thriving in creation, connecting, evolving, transformation. Meal Ticket is exactly what it sounds like. What's your meal ticket? Whether it's speaking, whether it's entrepreneurship, whether it's podcast, you are the ticket, So once you put that meal ticket on, you zip up that zipper, the hoodie, the jacket, the shirt, whatever the case it may be, you the ticket.
I need one of them. I need that. We're gonna talk. I'm gonna talk and definitely grab some from you.
We gotta share it on our next show. We gotta be able to,
I should have. I wasn't even thinking, y'all.
Yeah. It's all good, man. Absolutely. Well, anything else, Marsha?
I'm looking forward to possibly meeting this young man one day in person. Very inspirational. I gotta shake hands with you before I don't have access to shake hands. You're gonna have bodyguards all over the place. So, I'm truly impressed. You have such a bright future. You are a blessing, man. So thank you for coming on and joining us today and talking to our audience.
Thank you. I'm blessed to be here. And again, for anybody out there, I guess I'll leave it with this as well too. I literally, before I started being asked to come to speak on stage, before I started to, be requested to come speak on podcasts, I literally used to sit in my living room and talk to myself and imagine that I was already on a podcast, right? When I watch podcasts, I pause the podcast and I answer the question as well too.
Ooh.
It go back to that. Thank you. This is a full circle moment. You have to see, my good friend of mine, he said, you got to see it before you seize it. And this couch right here, man, I'm telling you, like, before I spoke at, I speak at Thornwood High School regularly by the grace of God. It's my alma mater. Spoke at, Leo High School. I, speak at football camps, giving inspirational, back to the next generation. Spoke at T of North High School, a few different other, marketing and entrepreneurship events. We host our own entrepreneurial social as well too. So I literally before I got all of these things, I remember being there and saying and answering the question and say everything that you guys not everything, but some of the questions that you guys I went over this several times about how I would answer it. So, to get to that next level, I got something called becoming a good day. In order to become a good day, do the things that you would do on a good day, whatever that looked like. If you're going to get promoted, how would you walk into that office? You know what I mean? How would you shake everybody's hand? Shake everybody's hand like
man.
Yeah.
Yes. 100%. Yes.
Becoming a good day.
I like that one. I like that one, D.
100%.
I like that one. Well, and it goes back to the act as if, the act as if, principle, dress to impress, or, act as if you already have the things that you acquire, but walk in it, have that posture, have that energy, have that smile. They say you have to do the thing in order to get the power. Yep. People say, well, I'll smile when I get a better job. No, you have to smile in order to get the better job. You have to do the thing in order to get the power. And so I like that, man. I like what you said, bro. I'm going to take that.
It definitely.
What you say, Marsha?
I said it shows leadership. Sometimes people wait for things to happen instead of taking the lead on things. And if not, it's like you're not ready then. If you can't take the lead on something, then you're only set for a certain position. But yeah, he's a leader.
Yeah, absolutely. A leader, man. Hey, brother, it's been real, my brother. We could go on all night, but I'm gonna hit you up. We're gonna connect, and we're gonna definitely stay connected. And anytime you want to come back, man, just let me know. Anything you need to share with the people, man, we got you.
That's right. Please do.
Thank you all so much, and you got blessings to you guys' this podcast.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
Thank you. Thanks, my brother.
Absolutely. You guys take it easy.
Oh, man. All right, bro.
Man.
Woo. Man, that was something else.
Yes, you blowing it up now. You getting, I see what you doing here now. I'm checking you out.
You said get some. I got it. Wait till next week.
Okay.
I think I'm starting to say that every week. Wait till next week.
You shooting first and asking questions later now, huh?
Yeah. Wow.
Well, hey, I love it. There's so many wonderful stories out there. That's what this platform is for. And
absolutely.
We all need to share. We all have a story to tell that needs to be shared. And his is very powerful, along with the rest of the people who made their way over here. So always grateful because they don't have to do it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely. Well, before we get out, we want to promote what we do. So give us a shout, man. Tell them where to tune in at every week, every day.
You can download the app also now. It's not just on the radio because we are living in the digital world and living on demand. WLTH radio app, and then you can, if you're in Gary, Indiana, or Northwest Indiana, that's 92.7 FM, 1370 AM, and we're doing some amazing things over there. So tune in. Don't be the last one to find out. That's all I gotta say.
And with that, of course, we got the credit repair special going on this May. Tap in with me, guys. $3.99. Want to purchase a car, a home, get business funding, tap in with me, only $3.99. I just had somebody, oh my God, over 200 some points the first round, first 30 in 30 days, over 200 points. So again, if you do what you got to do, I'm definitely going to do what I got to do. So play your part. I'm going to definitely do mine, but I'm telling you, this thing is happening. We can make it done within 90 days. We can get you the better credit. So make sure you tap into that. And other than that, what else you got going on this week? How long you gonna be in AZ?
I'll be back on Monday. So for the rest of this week, I'm moving. You know, I will officially be moved out of Arizona. I'm packing my place up, and now I'm starting. You know what? It's a part of the journey. You know, life is a journey. It's a book that's already written, and I'm where I'm supposed to be at right now in this chapter. This chapter I'm closing.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I know, you know, we all excited, you know, that, you know, you'll be back home, and I know your family is, you know, so, and I know that the community is, because, you know, connecting with WLTH and all the other things, you know, you and I, you know, connecting and all the things that we're going to have going on. So I appreciate you. And hey, it's been real.
It's been real. It's been a real ride, and it's not over yet. We're just getting started. So
that's right. That's right. So make sure y'all tune in. Convo with CINO. I'm CINO, and
that's right.
Make sure y'all tune in each and every week. Thank you for tuning in. And with that, guys, we're gonna leave you with my man. We're gonna leave you with our guest closing us out. And with that, we out.
My greatest accomplishment was becoming a father. All right. Becoming a father helped me get closer to God. When before I became a father, I became a dad when I was 19. I'm 25 next month. So before I became a father, I was okay with just living how I was living. You know what I mean? Kind of living day to day. But when I became a father, it kind of let me know that it's okay to live, right? Because now I have something to live for. Right, so my greatest accomplishment was becoming a dad.